I don't really have a crystal ball, but I can pretty much predict my clients' live launch results, mainly because of this one thing that I look out for. And I'm going to share that with you today. If you have not met, hello, my name's Yuan. I am the founder and CEO of DailySurprisesMedia. We are a lead gen and lead conversion agency behind a lot of the high ticket coaches, service providers, and consultants that are selling high ticket that you're look up to. And we have generated over 100 client wins and featured in the Business Insider. So today, that's what we're going to talk about today, what you really want to focus on to making sure that you have a very successful launch. More specifically, we're going to talk about the number one differentiating factor when it comes to having a successful launch, a sold out one versus one that's just cricket and nothing performs. And we're going to also give you a trick that you can testing out to see that if you actually have this differentiator factor right now, and if you do not, what do you need to do about it? So if that's what you're looking for, making sure that you keep watching. The first thing I want to talk about is the differentiating factor, right? So before I actually even drop it, let's talk about live launch in general. So live launch, pretty much every single live launch you see, no matter who the creator is, no matter how big or small somebody's audience is, there's pretty much only two components to it, right? Component number one is some sort of live conversion event, and component number two is the open cart, closed cart live launch itself. That's pretty much everybody has it. As long as they do live launch, it's always going to look like this, right? So the first part, when it comes to conversion event, obviously there's many variation of that. That can be a kind of live workshop series. It can be like a one-day masterclass. It can be a few-day challenges. It can look variation of that. But whatever the thing is a live event. It's a kind of deeper experience for you to have a experience of what it's like to work with the creator, right? On the deeper level. So you get loads of value during those events. And then on the end of those events, normally they either, if it's like say multi-day series, you will see the creator kind of pitching their service and a program at the end of every single day. Some of them only pitch at the end of that day, like end of the last day. So it really depends. But whatever the way they do it, it's always going to be, they're going to pitch at the end of this live event. And that's when the card actually opens. And then they will go into the actual live launch. And in general, for most people, it's normally 2 weeks in the space, right? So a lot of people have more, like, not complicated is not the right word. They have like more sophisticated, that's what I'm looking for, more sophisticated launches by adding more bonuses, right? So that can look like they have a wait list even before the launch. They have early birds, they have kind of disappearing bonuses, they have fast action bonuses, whatever they call it, is they have bonuses kind of within the live launch window. But whatever, how sophisticated their live launch may be, they still only have this two component, the live conversion event and the actual launch, where they're really talking about this offer, they really share about client testimonial, they're really sharing a lot of like the shifting mindset type of posts, they're really posting a lot of converting content, really program heavy, what's included, objection handling, all of that good stuff, right? So here's the $1 million question. If literally pretty much everyone, regardless of, how big their audience is, they always have this two big component when it comes to strategy side of things. They always need to have a really good live conversion event, and then they always, making sure that they talk about their offers and service really often. Why some people are having like big sold out live launches, like multi 6 figures, multi 7 figures, and why some people are not even be able to get one person into their program? What's the difference? It really comes down to one thing. And here is a lot of people missing. Your launch result is not determined by the launch strategy itself. It's actually already 99% of it is already determined depending on your activity level in between those launches. That is actually the differentiating factor, how warm your audience is. That's the number one factor you need to focus on when it comes to live launches, right? It's not even live launches. I would say even when you have evergreen, how good you're actually selling, how many clients you're getting every week, every month, it really depending on how warm your audience is. It's not like you come in, do a live launch, you're gone, right? And you have a successful one. You really determine before you actually even do the live conversion event, how many people are already warmed up that when you drop the live conversion event, they're like, I am in, I want to do this. I've been waiting for this for so long, right? That's the point of a lot of people having waitlist strategies, mainly because they want to build a warm audience before the launch actually happens, almost in a way to guarantee they would have a really, really good launch. If they have a really good number in the waitlist, they know they will have a really good launch because there are people in the waitlist have been waiting, kind of banging on their door, like, I want your offer right now, but because it's not open yet, they're not in the offer yet, right? So that's how they know they're going to have a very successful launch. They know the conversion rate, they know how many people are in the waitlist already, they're going to have a very successful launch. So how do you know if you have that differentiating factor right now? Having a waitlist is one way to test it, but I'm going to show you a easier way you can actually test it right now to see if you have the differentiating factor to actually determine you're going to have a very good next live launch, right? And here's what you need to do. You just need to test on where your audience is. So let's say if you're on Instagram and you're also active on your email list, what you can do is making sure that you drop this in both places. And what you want to do is almost share with your audience a idea that you have when it comes to your offer, right? It can be an offer that you launched before, that's absolutely fine. It can be literally in the format of, hey, I'm thinking of teaching you XYZ. That can be the name of your conversion event. If I were to do this event to teach you XYZ, would you be interested to join me? It can be as simple as that. It can be just the Instagram story and then sending the same thing in your email list as well. Just tell people, hit yes if you're interested, and I'll send you a link to register. At that point, you don't even need to create a landing page for your live event just yet, right? So you can just capture the people's email, their name, and just telling them, hey, I'm thinking about organizing this live event right now. I just want to get your feedback first if something you'd be interested in, right? So if you're actually sharing that here's a live event, which that live event essentially should lead into your offer, right? So the way I think about live conversion event and your offer, they should be kind of go hand in hand. Your live event is almost like a prerequisite so that when people get into your offer, they're already ready to hit the ground and go and really making the most ROI, getting the most ROI out of your offer, right? So what is the step before your offer that they need to get so much value out of it? They need to get locked in completely in order to take advantage of it, right? So if you already have an offer that's a proven offer, all you need to focus on is this live event. Be like, hey, here's what I'm thinking about. I'm planning to do an event teaching you XYZ. If I do it, would you want to come? Let's say if you're not getting much response at all, there's a big chance that you just don't have a warm enough audience, right? Obviously, there's the other side of things that your live launch event potentially just really suck. But in general, if you're really clear on what they're getting out of it, those benefit, why they should come, and people are just not responding to it whatsoever, or if you're asking feedback, right? Like, what do you want to learn? Like, is anything specific you want to learn from me on topic XYZ? And you have literally no one coming back to you, be like, hey, I'm interested in this, I want to learn more. It's really telling me that you don't really have a warm audience yet that is ready to kind of bite whatever you put on the market, right? So that is telling me that you really need to work a bit harder in the area which is warming up your audience. When you do that, you're more likely to have a very successful launch. So what do you actually need to do to have that differentiating factor? What do you actually need to do to have a really warm audience? There's multiple ways to do it, right? So we're going to talk about, I guess, in my opinion, the easiest tool you can actually do, right? So number one is making sure that you show up consistently and give value. So that does not necessarily need to look like you are showing up on Instagram every single day in stories, and then you are also, I don't know, doing like a million things, sending email every single week. Like that frequency might work for some people. It does not necessarily work for every person, right? So what you really want to focus on is your audience can really count on you, knowing that almost like a Netflix series, like when it kind of like drop, like whatever episode is on like certain days, like people are very excited for it, right? Can your audience count on for you for that, right? Like, can they really rely on you for that? Can they know that Monday when they come to Instagram, that's when you drop a bomb ass content, you're really going to help them to gain so much value, and you do this consistently over time. That's how you really nurture people through your content. So if you hear people talking about nurture people through your content, that's what exactly it meant, meaning that you deliver value through your content on a consistent basis. So that's one of the things you can do easily to making sure that you have a warm audience. The other thing you can also do, which is something I personally absolutely love, because it's not just warming up your audience for like your live launch, it's also going to bump up your sales numbers so much more in between those launches as well. We all love live launches, right? That's give you a huge cash injection. But what's finding really hard is like in between those launches, what I tend to see people is like they have like 0 sales months in between. And that's not what we like here. We like predictability. We like sustainability. Obviously, you can create recurring revenue to support you kind of months to months. But the other thing we like to do is that we are still selling in between launches just on the back end, right? We can get people onto your waitlist. We can get people into your like other programs that potentially is kind of an evergreen model rather than a kind of open card, closed card enrollment. So what do you need to do? DM sales. And that is what we do over here for all of our Don't sales clients. And that is the reason why they're having amazing results. So we have tons of clients really have like super high 4-digit, a lot of them actually having 5-figure consistent months on top of a 5-figure, 6-figure launch because of DM sales, right? So when we have DM sales very intentionally, we really understanding, like talking to this person to understand what would be the best offer for this person depending on where they are right now, what's the goal they want to hit, right? Let's say if the goal they want to hit, okay, we know that that's for a upcoming program, so we will let them know, right? Like potentially the client doesn't even not have a wait list, which is absolutely fine. We can just add them on our tracker to know that when the client actually launches this program, we want to circle back to this person, so they're the first one to know. We can send personal invite. So before a client launches, we actually already have a lot of people saying yes in the back end. So that's how we can even know it's going to be a successful launch, right? So this is the other thing, like a lot of people think it's very mystery when it comes to, oh, I haven't even opened cart yet, it's already sold out. This is what happens because we have DM conversations on the regular, not just chit chat, kind of friendly conversations, right? It is part of it for us to build relationships, but we are very intentional with it. So we know where we want to lead this conversation. We kind of know what they're best fit for. And after we know all of that, we can then funnel them into, okay, here's for this program launch, we want to making sure we send personal invite to them because they're ready, they already know about it. And then for these people, like they may, let's say no in the past because let's say one-on-one coaching is a bit too much of an investment for them right now in their business, or let's say they prefer to have a container where they actually have a community. So we know that group program is the right fit for them, right? So we know when to circle back. So that is the other thing you can do, really, really powerful when it comes to DM sales. And that's pretty much what we talk about today. Number one, just looking at my notes so I don't forget anything, the actual differentiate factor between a Cricut launch and a sold out launch, right? And that is not necessarily your launch strategy because every single launch always have those two components, the live event and the open card and closed card, kind of like massive frequent communication, right? The differentiate factor is how warm your audience actually is. And how do you know if your audience are warm enough right now? I told you a simple trick, you can test it out, right? So really asking your audience, if I'm going to teach you this on next topic, would you be interested? Or would you want to learn from me on X topic, right? That is going to give you an idea how engaged your audience is currently. And if they actually do take actions and you know that you're going to have a very successful live like event and many people will then convert at the back of it. And the last thing we talk about already, if you don't really have that right now, what you need to focus on, basically two things: consistency, consistently giving value to your audience, and also making sure that you are doing DM sales consistently in your business as well. DM sales is definitely going to be game changing for you if you're not doing that already. Hopefully you enjoyed today's training. If you have any training topic requests, making sure you DM me on Instagram at DailySurprisesMedia, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.